What's going on, everyone? Chris from Pickdawgz.com here with your early look in the Week 6 college football matchup between the Colorado Buffaloes and the Arizona State Sun Devils. What we're doing with these early looks is just see where the line is early in the week, and then we'll touch on these matchups. At least most of them we'll touch on as the week progresses. And in our college football live show on Thursdays with myself, Mitch, and Ron Romanelli, as well as on our Saturday show with myself, Jay Briggs, and the Sauce. And looking at this matchup early, this line is a little bit funky to me, and we'll dive into that in a second. But Colorado coming in 3-2 on the year, back-to-back losses now. They failed both of their tests against the likes of Oregon, first on the road, but then at home against USC. It was a game that was a bit out of reach early on. USC really came in and put their foot down and was trying to draw the line in the sand. They were up 34-7 with 2:54 to go in the second quarter, but Colorado really started to find themselves a little bit. They found themselves down 48-21 with 2:14 to go in the third, and then scored 21 unanswered points to make things extremely interesting. Couldn't complete the comeback, but again, it was at least a sign of resilience for the Colorado Buffaloes that they didn't just roll over. And I've been critical of the Buffs at times. I was critical about them going into that Oregon series. I was not as high on them in that spot as a lot of folks were. Still, people going into that game were still buying the hype on Colorado. They thought Oregon was the next team to sort of fall, and we saw in that game why Oregon is the most profitable team against the spread at home since I think it's like 2005. Autzen, a tough place to go on the road and win. I won't knock Colorado for that. I would just say we had to kind of slow the roll a little bit on on Colorado going into that game. Then there was the matchup against USC that some people are like, well, they have to win it. And I'm just thinking to myself, you just got to get out there and show that you can put up a fight, that you're not going to be sort of the first team that really, you're not going to be the first team that goes in and gets beat up by USC. But you got to show that you're there to fight. You're not just going to roll over and take it. And that's what Colorado did. They showed some fight. They showed some heart. And Shedeur Sanders, I said it after that Colorado State game where he led the team down the field and tied the game against Colorado State, that he showed some poise on that drive. And we're starting to see that, hey, he does have some poise. He does have some clutch in him. Now he goes out on the road into the desert to take on a Sun Devils team that, has lost 4 straight. And I do think that Colorado's the better team here, which is why this line is a little bit funky, that it's only at 4.5. Arizona State, like I said, they've lost 4 in a row. They've been respectable in a couple of their recent performances. They were shut out by Fresno State at home and then went out against USC at home as 34.5-point dogs. Only lost by 14 points. They put up 28 points in that game. Last week as double-digit dogs on the road at Cal. They only lost by 3, 24-21. But I don't know. I know that, this Arizona State team has looked a little bit decent since Drew Pine took over, and then Pine didn't play last week. It was Trenton Bourget that took over. He threw for 344 yards last week against Cal, against a pretty good Cal defense coached up by Justin Wilcox. But I'm just still not there with Arizona State. I'm still a little bit scared of Colorado because this is a very, very public team. But I've always been of the mindset that the public is not always wrong. Is it scary to be on the same side as the public? Sometimes. Yeah, and like I said, I'm not one of those people that necessarily puts everything in the world on, pros versus Joes, sharps versus squares, whatever. This line to me just feels funky. So right now, my early look will be laying the 4.5. Maybe it's just a bad line that we can take advantage of with Colorado at minus 4.5. I'm going to have to do some digging. Maybe there's some other injuries here. We know Travis Hunter going to be out until November, even though he said he wants to play. Coach Prime not going to let him rush himself back too soon. Shiloh Sanders is questionable for this game with a kidney issue, and there's just a bunch of other injuries in that secondary that really hasn't been very good. Arizona State, they're a decent passing attack, but again, everybody's been able to pass on Colorado. I just don't know if Arizona State's going to be good enough to match score for score with what Colorado is capable of doing. So my early look is going to be laying the points with Colorado in this one. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of this line, though. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Up over 141,000 subscribers here on our YouTube channel. Couldn't have done without you guys' love and support. So make sure that you smash that like button for us and you're subscribed. And also make sure you have notifications turned on so you get the newest and freshest content when it drops here at Pick Dawgz. And while you're at Pick Dawgz, check out the premium picks tab at the top of the page. You can find my best bets there, some best bets from some of the world's top handicappers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys soon.